Todd grinned, feeling an unprecedented happiness from the opportunity to talk with the object of his adoration, to find out his thoughts, to know more about him without being afraid of being misunderstood or rejected. "We are all imperfect," he said, watching Max put the groceries to the fridge. "Do you want to take a shower? You are smart." Max put the plates in the sink and after a pause looked at Todd. "We can take it together if you want." It was silly to ask. Todd's scrutinizing gaze, which had been pursuing him throughout dinner, had long ago agreed to everything and even more. Max had a large bathroom with comfortable hooks and a gorgeous, spacious shower cubicle, where he had installed a rain system, which allowed water to fall directly from the ceiling at any desired pressure. They were undressing in silence, at a distance, trying not to even look at each other. Especially it was about Todd, who was afraid to break down ahead of time. Then Max turned on the system, chose the most comfortable temperature, and stepped into the cabin under the gentle caressing water. He turned to Todd, intending to ask him about the temperature, but Todd probably wouldn't have noticed even if the water was as cold as ice. He saw only Max in front of him, naked, open, beautiful, and wanting absolutely the same thing as himself. They merged in an embrace, greedily kissing each other, immediately tearing off all the barriers that apparently had been hanging by a thread for a long time. Now Max could have laughed at his fear of disappointment. The second time seemed to be even brighter than the first one, but he didn't have time to analyze. He felt unbearably aroused and could only restrain his moans in despair, pulling Todd closer and enjoying his gentle, dirty touches. Max felt himself not only desired, he had the feeling as if someone wanted to devour him with all his insides. It even scared him a little, and at the same time excited so much that he soon began to get dark before his eyes. He didn't resist when Todd lifted him under the buttocks. He hugged him around the waist obediently with his legs, feeling the prickly coolness of wet tiles on his back. He squeezed his shoulders, strained almost to stone hardness, and pulled his head back, looking for a more stable position. Todd was like a beast at this time, a beautiful, maddened beast possessed by only one desire. And this desire made Max moan loudly when he fully felt it in himself. There was again a moment of deafening pain that Todd didn't let last too long. He immediately moved again, deeper and harder, and this time successfully touched the sensitive node that arched Max in the back, now from the sensations very far from pain. And Todd didn't stop any more. Losing his head from the furious excitement, he was hammering Max into the wall, watching through the water's haze his face broken with pain and pleasure, and feeling wild jumps in his heart from his shameless, muffled moans. He was losing his mind from everything Max did, and moreover, he felt like he was becoming some completely different person, unstoppable, desperate, and at the same time bottomless happy. He moaned himself, reaching the limit, and immediately felt the answering tremor in Max's body. He hugged him tightly, also shocked by the madness that had gripped them both, and at that moment he felt nothing but a huge, infinite, like the universe, ecstatic happiness. Max didn't dare to leave the bathroom naked. He wrapped a towel around his hips, which, however, did not have much effect. Todd, who of course did not even think of putting anything on himself, approached him with a smile, resolutely pulled off an unnecessary rag, and immediately threw him on the sofa, pouncing with incredible energy after the volcano that erupted from him in the bathroom. Max, contrary the thought that flashed through his head to cool them both a little bit, willingly succumbed, enjoying everything his body experienced, already waiting for a new circle of crazy love. However, Todd has different plans this time. When his lips wetly stroked Max's erect penis, he shuddered and abruptly raised himself on his elbow, considering what was happening to be a blatant overkill. "Stop it. This is too much. Relax and enjoy it. You don't have to do this. This is really too much. I wouldn't if I didn't want to." And Todd sucked his lips into his cock, gradually grabbing more and more. Max leaned back, breathing noisily from an overabundance of emotions, not believing that all this was really happening to him. Todd didn't even think to stop. He really wanted it, and didn't feel the slightest aversion. He wanted to bring Max to a complete clouding of his mind, and he swallowed deeper, pulling his nose and his groin smelling of mint shampoo, finally tearing off an unrestrained moan, after which he also wanted to moan. He considered his victory final when he felt Max's tense palm in his hair, which pressed very softly in fear of causing him unnecessary inconvenience. Todd lightly closed his teeth, and hot sperm splashed into his palate, flooding his mouth, forcing him to instinctively swallow, which he did, still not finding anything disgusting in it. When he pulled away, Max, still breathing hardly, sat and tried to kiss him, but Todd decided to object. "I think I should rinse my mouth first. It doesn't matter to me, but for you it might be." The next moment Max brought him down on the soft carpet and covered his lips with a fierce, greedy kiss. Todd had almost choked from such energy and at the same time from the piercing him awareness. Max also didn't feel any aversion. He was ready for absolutely anything if it was about him. Briefly interrupting the kiss, Max dryly threw in his face. "I didn't notice any difference." "I adore you," confessed Todd slowly, running his hands over his sides and back. Max's gaze again reflected something like bewilderment, even a slight misunderstanding, but he didn't focus on it. He kissed the desired lips again, easily eliminating from his head everything incomprehensible and strange, which, as he thought, was just the fruit of his mind distorted by wild desire. For now, Todd had no objections. Meanwhile, the night was just gaining momentum.